Hey, it's the time of the year that normally people start now, thinking about their New Year's resolution. And for the most part, everybody has sort of like this default list of things that they are, you know, wanting to do for the next year. And it's more or less really a wish list because if it was truly a resolution, they would have already check that off their list and put something else on it, right? Like we all know that there is this whole thing about eating better, going to the gym, just working out regularly, losing weight, I don't know, travel, read more books, like whatever it is, right? So anyway, the top things on the list are usually like lose weight, eat better, just exercise in general, or the whole health situation. But also at the same time, like people are then they all go all in and they start full force, and they also burn out really quickly, a couple weeks or 3 weeks into it. So that's why all of a sudden, the beginning of the year, if you are going to a physical gym, you see the gym completely packed with people at the first 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks in January, and then all of a sudden you see like people are just starting to disappear. You're trickling off, like your own journey as far as fitness and wellness goes, and I think a lot of times it's because people just like go like all it's like they drop quote unquote every bad habit that they think they have, and then they just do too many things all at once, and that's where that burnout happens, where it's just too much, it's too overwhelming, it's you have to this sense of like having to be perfect is it's just too much, right? Or they get crippled in a sense by the challenge of it, because they changed, everything all at once. And I know change is hard, right? Change is hard because it forces ourselves to do something different from what we are used to do. That we all have been sort of directly or indirectly trained by ourselves or people around us to do things a certain way, right? So that includes like getting up at a certain time, what you do in the morning, like, do you brush your teeth first? Do you shower first? Do you then, get dressed or have your coffee first, or whatever it is? Like everybody has sort of their own routine. And if you all of a sudden set yourself up for like indirectly really up for failure by thinking you have to change everything all at once to become this whatever perfect person, like first of all, you're just lying to yourself, because nobody's perfect. Perfection doesn't exist, and if so at all, and it's probably for like the split second of a moment, and then it changes. So change is hard because, again, we have to put ourselves in a situation on purpose, continuously, consciously, on purpose, in a situation that we are not used to. So starting a workout routine or just a wellness routine of any sort, of changing, your eating habits, all of that is very similar to maybe like starting a new job, right? It can be that overwhelming feeling of the unknown can be scary, and it can do two things. It can either be like crippling you in a sense, like it sets you back, and it's so overwhelmingly scary because you don't know what that unknown territory actually looks like, that you either pull back and just decide, what, I'm not so comfortable where I am, but not knowing what it looks like in the unknown space is more scary to me, or more uncomfortable than being in my current uncomfortable situation. So a lot of people also just stay put. They don't move, they don't change anything because it's just too scary. The unknown or what's awaiting on the other side is just too much for them. And then you have the other group who's like, okay, this is very scary, but just for instance, just like a job situation, right? Like there's going to be a learning curve. You have to sort of like make peace with the idea that there is a learning curve, that you're going to most likely fail, or at least hit obstacles, hit speed bumps, right? Setbacks even. And just like any kind of other situation, you would normally kind of like work through it, right? You would either make adjustments on your end, or you learn from your mistakes, or you read more into it to like teach yourself more about a certain subject matter so that you can get better at it and improve upon whatever it is, right? So any, like for instance, like a job situation where you start a new job, you're excited about it, right? You're excited about the possibilities and all those great things that come along with it, but you're not really sure, right? You don't know the people you're going to work with, the interactions you're going to have. You might be given tasks that are difficult, that are completely new to you. You've never done them before, but you are expected to accomplish the task at maybe a specific deadline, hit deadlines, right? And you're going to not always succeed straight away. You're going to have to ask for help. You're going to have to ask questions. You're going to have to teach yourself about it, learn about it, read about it, so that you can make improvements, because you want to keep this job, right? So you're going to do whatever you can to make improvements in your performance, in your knowledge, in your skills, all those things. So when it comes to like nutrition and wellness or working out or whatever it is, it's the same way, right? We are all beginners. Especially when you start something completely new, you've never done this before, then you have to be kind to yourself and give yourself that flexibility and space to be okay with, oh, this is hard, this is challenging, this is, completely new, I'm sore, I'm this, I'm that, right? And it's okay. It's okay. Like, tell yourself that is completely normal. It's valid how you feel, and don't like look at those things as setbacks, but just something that you working through, and you will get through it as long as the overall goal that you have set for yourself, meaning the goal of just eating better, making better food choices, or eating, be more aware of when is a better time to eat versus on the go, like in a rush. How do you prep your meals? Like as a kid, like you maybe like went to, you had, instead of eating lunch at school from what they were cooking there, you brought your own lunch. Well, that's because you packed it, hopefully, the night before, and you put it in your lunch box, and then in the morning you grabbed it and went on your way. So just think about it that way. Like, give yourself that permission to prep and succeed on small levels. Like, don't change everything all at once. It's okay to have vices. There's nothing wrong with that. That makes you human. Like, we all have these vices, and we're not perfect. And, there are going to be days where you want to have, everything in front of you, like buffet style, and that's okay. That's okay. That doesn't mean you fell off the wagon. That doesn't mean you totally like screwed up. It just makes you human. So just forget about it. And the next day, you just keep on going, like where you started making improvements. Just keep on going. Just pick up where you left off. Same as working out. Like, there's going to be days you absolutely are just too tired. You're exhausted. You are maybe not physically exhausted, but maybe just mentally exhausted. And it's okay to take that day off and take care of your mental well-being. And, read a book, listen to music, go for a walk, or just binge watch something on TV just to like get your mind in the right space. And that's okay. right? And a lot of times when you change everything all at once, you really do set yourself up for failure because of this burnout. So instead, maybe like change something, make yourself a list. Like there's 12 months in a year, so maybe make yourself a list of something that you're going to improve upon every month, like one thing a month. Or even, and if it's really easy, if it was really, it may be easier than you thought to make a positive like change or improvement in your life, whatever that might be. Maybe like drinking a glass of water in the morning before you have your coffee. Like if that after 2 weeks you're like, this is great, this, you know what, this is perfect, this is like a lot easier than I thought it was, then maybe then at that point you can add another thing to your list of things you want to improve upon. But other than that, maybe just change one thing a month, so that after 30 days you sort of like have this routine down of implementing this change, and it really is already part of your routine now, so that you can now start implementing something new. So don't change everything all at once, right? Because you want to be able to make this change hopefully permanently, right? So and it's not going to be permanent or part of your routine if you try to change everything all at once, because it's just too overwhelming, it's too much, we can't handle it, and we also feel like we're being stripped away like everything that we enjoy. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to have everything taken away from them all at once and then be left with nothing, right? So be kind to yourself in the process of learning to just be happier, healthier, and, make those changes slowly. That's all, right? Because that's how you stick to those resolutions. Don't make them just wish lists and wish for them and then wish for them and then wish for them, but not taking action, and then you wonder why nothing ever changes, right? Because they're really just a wish list, not a resolution. So be realistic about it, and don't feel like your list has to be so long of like a multitude of different things you need to accomplish in the new year. Make it maybe like 1 or 2 things. And you can always add. This list is not like written in stone in that sense that you cannot edit it, that you can not add something new or take something out and exchange it for something else or whatever it is, but be realistic about it. Like take like maybe 1 to 3 main goals and say, these are the things I really want to work on this new year. And not that you necessarily need a new year to make a change or a new start of anything, but a lot of times it's kind of like resetting. A new year is kind of like the reset button, right? For a lot of people, they feel like they can reflect on a whole year and then start making changes. So just, if that's what you want to do, then do that. And look at like 1 to 3 things that you really want to work on throughout the entire year. Don't feel like you have to accomplish it like within the first couple weeks or even the first month. Change sometimes or oftentimes takes time, because we are by nature, creatures of habits, and habits sometimes can be hard to break. So give yourself some grace, be kind to yourself. And just because you messed up in your words, not mine, don't let that set you back. Don't feel like you have totally screwed up and cannot keep going, because you can. So sit down, take like 5-10 minutes or however much time you need, and really set realistic goals for yourself. And don't make it a list of 10, 15, 20 things, because that's why you probably see the same things on your list every year, is because it's too many things you want to change. Just focus on 1, 2, 3 things that you really can truly then make a difference in your life based on those goals. quality over quantity. That's the key.